shot over the Hala Olivia on the north end of Gdansk. We're not far from the Baltic Sea. One final day for ISU Short Track World Tour number 3. The afternoon session. The medal races, of course, still to come, but we first get through the repechage session. And even though medals are not on the line, repechage on Saturday had some fantastic races and hopeful of more to come today. Hi everybody, Gavin Day here alongside me, Catherine Reuter-Adamek. One final day, there's a little bit of sadness, but there's also a lot of excitement, Catherine, of what we have ahead.
That's right, a lot of excitement. 1,000-meter day for the men. Remember, that's a speed skaters race. The sprinters can hold on for a few extra laps. The endurance skaters can get up to speed and really fight. And then you have those middle distance specialists. So it's really the most fun. Women going to show off their endurance skills today, and then their sprint. We've also got in our afternoon session the mixed team relay and the men's 5,000-meter relay. So we saved the best for last, folks.
Men's relay, always the curtain dropper on every international weekend of short track. But yeah, there's no shortage of excitement along the way today as well. And so you see the schedule on your screen. Repechages for the women's 1,500 meters, men's 1,000 meters, and then the women's 500 meters. It's a quick in and out. It's probably less than 90 minutes of action here, but a lot will be crammed in. Just remembering yesterday and some of the repechages where 2 races were decided by mere thousandths of a second. There were a lot of advancements from other ones and just a lot to pay attention to.
That's right, and even though we're not going for medal rounds here in the repechage rounds, what we're racing for is skaters are trying to get into the main event. They're trying to go to the medal rounds. So winners, by the time we get to the semifinals, will get progressed on to the main event this afternoon. And one reason why this competition is so fun to watch is because at this level, everyone's good. You know, a lot of times in the preliminary rounds, we see those highly ranked skaters start to pull away from the field, and there isn't as much jockeying for position. But at this stage of racing, everyone is good, everyone can fight, and we're seeing elite level tactics.
Lights are still down. The first heat of skaters are in the heat box, and hey, as if I manifested it myself, the lights come up, and it will be our 2 on ice officials doing fantastic work. Michel Dumont, Peter Worth, very experienced guys, and we've just been complimenting them on how they check the ice to make sure the stewards just have those spots picked out. But the stewards as well have also done a fantastic job keeping things running as smoothly as possible. And so the skaters have not yet come on, but action going in about less than 90 seconds from now. In the women's 1,500, there will be 5 heats in all, top 2 from each race, and a maximum 4 fastest third-place skaters going for the repechage semifinals. So, barring any advancements, 4 of the 5 third-place skaters could move on, but that's easier said than done. Because once the racing actually begins in earnest, then there is always that chance of advancements and points.
Absolutely, and I think what I'm looking forward to today is seeing how the ice conditions have changed. I skated a little bit after the World Cup session last night. There was a training session for relay specialists. Yeah, the ice was very broken down, but it's been sitting, or as we say, resting for several hours at this point, and we have some elite level track stewards out there. Bartosz Bileski is former Polish national team member leading the charge on those track stewards. We also have Adam Filipovich, Michal Kiosinski, and Vostok Kleminski, who's on the Junior World Championship team and has competed in Junior World Cup. So I tried to do some block chasing yesterday for those relay skaters. I forgot how hard it is, and I'm really impressed with the level of track stewardship we're seeing this weekend.
Catherine laughed off the ice yesterday.
Oh, it was all in good fun. I liked it. That's what I tell myself.
You hadn't done something like that in a number of years, and I'm sure it takes a moment to come back. But yeah, kudos to you for getting those skates on and getting back out there. Heat number 1. Young Jingru, Lam Qingyan, Mirta Mikkelsen, Barbara Gakova, Zhang Yize, Diana Michalchuk, Polina Klivstuen.
Go to the start. Ready.
So many storylines in these repechage. Skaters from teams who want to get more of their skaters in towards the World Tour, and so they can potentially get more points for their team Crystal Globe standings. Skaters looking for a breakthrough into the main event, into the World Tour session, and then of course those invaluable Olympic qualifying quota spots. We will stop talking about those Olympic qualifying quota spots after next weekend, but of course that's actually also the end of the World Tour season. So
that's right. Well, and yes, but it's all building up to something. We are less than 100 days out from the Olympic Games right now. We see two Chinese longs sitting up in the top three. Mikkelsen, the Ice Bear, Belgium Ice Bear, just splitting those two up, which is good strategy. I do anticipate Zhang and Yang from the Chinese longs wanting to skate together again. It's just smart tactics to be with your teammate because there's so much comfort that comes from training and knowing how each other skates.
Now they do both hit the front with Barbara Gakova of the Czech Ice Spiders behind them. Just a reminder, any viewers in the U.S., you're listening to Catherine alongside me. She will be part of Team NBC this February, and I imagine you'll be hearing her plenty because short track in the Winter Olympics is one of those games that, or one of these sports that really opens fans' eyes, and they go, yeah, it's really fun to watch. And then we'll get to be the ones to say, yeah, it's not just done at the Olympics either. You can watch it in between, and we can share the enthusiasm for that. But yeah, like I said, USA fans who'll be watching the US this winter will get plenty of Catherine or who is alongside me. I'm not there. You will. You'll be on the commentary crew.
Well, and it's such a gift to be here on the ISU and Sunset and Vine commentary crew, where we get to be here in person, actually sharing the energy in the ice rink. So we are seeing the top four athletes starting to pull away. Lam dropping back a bit, but Gakova sticking like glue.
Behind Yang and Zhang, Gakova, of course, scrapping to try to get up one of those third place times, and she will get it. Clean racing through heat number one, 227.08. But Catherine mentioned the benefit of skating with a teammate. You know how they skate, and you can you're not working together, but you just are with somebody that you know.
That's right. So you may not know, if you're not speed skating at home, how every skater has their own rhythm, has their own tempo, has their own track pattern, their own timing in the way that they push. And so when you're following behind someone who you're not used to it, or their style is so different from yours that it kind of throws you off, it is a disadvantage in a race. And then when you get behind someone who, I know her skating style like the back of my hand, I don't have to worry about what she's doing. I kind of know I can focus on other stuff in my race. So it's two teammates skating together, but truly two individuals just doing what's best for them strategically in a race.
Two Chinese lungs into the repechage semifinal. Gakova, the 19-year-old, still also just having done some junior races within the last year, up into third. She'll now see. She will watch and see how that time holds up. Heat number two, Valentina Asic, Zoe Deltrap, Sarah Lutza-Baksky, Hyo Jin Kim, Annabelle Green, and Eunice Lee.
Eunice's sister Grace was one of the skaters on the ice last night, getting a little training session in. Eunice making the Olympic team for Team USA.
Go to the start.
2022, racing the relay spot. Here she is getting some individual experience.
Ready.
The U.S. women on the podium in the women's relay yesterday, and Eunice Lee, having done one of the earlier rounds, was out there getting a medal. But even as a repechage quarterfinal, some elite skaters, the likes of Zoe Deltrap, so often in World Tour sessions, Valentina Asic putting together some of her best years within the last little bit, and then Hyojin Kim within an eyebrows width of getting into the World Tour session yesterday in the 1,000 meters, but a very close second to Julie Rataj meant a big, big boost for her Olympic qualifying quotient.
Zoe Deltrap skating a defensive track here. See how she comes off her right skate, takes a big push to the inside. That's called a peanut track. When you cut inside, the shape of the track starts to look like a peanut. It's the most defensive track you can skate, but it's the hardest on the legs.
Repechage moves forward. Green, really a good starter in the 500 meters. You're more than happy to just keep this one as slow as possible until as late as possible.
Yes, they certainly don't seem to be going for time here, which says to me that, you know, maybe it's a field of more middle distance to sprint athletes who wanted to come down to the last couple laps.
And Deltrap going down. That was Kim going shoulder to shoulder with her for the first review of the day. You see the yellow dot on the screen. That would have been for a top 2 positions, and so we open the door perhaps for advancement, but Repechage and Kim and Green 1, 2, and 3 right now as the speed starts to pick up. They're going 40 kilometers an hour. Just looks so effortless.
They make it look smooth, but these skaters train 6 to 8 hours a day. They 5 to 6 days a week. They spend a lot of time making it look this good. And I'll add in, they're doing that about 10 months a year, maybe 11 on an Olympic year. Another bump here, back sky moving up on Eunice Lee. Looks like we now have 2 yellow dots.
That was near the back. Yeah, it sort of seems to go, if you sort of follow these skaters on their various social medias, once the World Championships finish in March, it's sort of April is off, and then teams start to get back together, not on the ice yet, but in May, and then as they move through the summer.
That's right. And the off-season usually starts on the bike, and it's a very common skating that medals are won in the summer. How many hours did you spend down in basic position? Okay, so we're seeing one angle on that pass. There does seem to be a little bit of contact. Let's look closer. Shoulders seem to be by Hyojin Kim. She's trying to put her hand down in that pivot. Skaters do what's called a pivot at the apex of the turn. It helps them change direction. However, if that move causes contact, that's why it's currently under review.
They're looking at a possible arm block there. So you saw the arm not quite hit the ice, but it did go across Deltrap and perhaps initiate the contact. And so Repechage, I believe, is above all the fray right now, and so she will at least be thinking of being in the top 2, but that other spot. And then there is, as we mentioned, as Catherine mentioned, pardon me, back sky on Eunice Lee, but that was further back and not in one of those advancement positions. So this is it again. Watch that left arm.
And then her hips, yes, and her Hyojin's hip is touching the knee of Zoe Deltrap. Remember, there's a difference between a pinch and a push. It's not illegal to pinch a skater. What I mean by that is get very, very close to them to the point where they might become uncomfortable. That's good strategy. But as soon as there's contact, that's going to be considered a race review. I wouldn't call that, what we just saw there, a push. That was something right in the middle. And again, they are looking at possible arm block. And our officials have their work cut out for them to try to figure all that out.
They are punching it into that results screen, and so I've looked through the reviews. The review room down below gets all the angles that we only really get to see afterwards.
And I think it's helpful for the officials to have the video review room to say, hey, you know, check this, look at that. Looks like we have an answer now.
Final decision, penalty number 50 from Australia. And we have an advancement for skater 28 from Netherlands.
And so it is Hyojin Kim penalized. Zoe Deltrap is advanced right there. The arm block just, it's going to hit her leg right there.
That's right. and then it comes back. Yes. Hey, some of that is speed skating. You do put your hand down there on the ice. You do swing your arm as you step, but it is the passing skater's responsibility to do that cleanly. And officials do have the responsibility, if they are going to make a call, of saying that was clearly and obviously a penalty, and they have the evidence they need in that video review.
Well, it's Annabelle Green to second to the automatic qualifying spot. Nothing done on that other incident. Back sky, we'll see if 2:26.401 holds up. That was a little quicker than heat number 1, but now, of course, we have one advancement as well.
Go to the start. Ready.
Heat number 3, Thanuche Chitaisong, Katarina Budic, Ariana Siegel, Tineke Dendelk, Phoebe Stens, and Rebecca Silice-Nemeth. 6 skaters out in this one. First look at the Siegel family. Bumped into Ariana yesterday. Catherine's brought up her dad, the former long tracker, a number of times, and she did say both the parents are around this weekend. It seems it's easy to get around the continent. So Natalini's family on the Italian side also here, and so it's not a long trip. We head to the Netherlands tomorrow, and it's a quick hour-long flight. And I will say last season when we were doing the final European stint, Tyler Dara and I, we went from Tilburg, we hopped over to Eindhoven, and we took the overnight train to Zurich, and then Zurich down to Milan, which was a lot of fun. So it's easy to get around this continent when everything's so close together.
You guys are so adventurous.
You take the chances when they come.
That's right.
It's a fun world to see out there.
Hey, that's right. We're seeing some speed picking up here.
That's Budic, who got around to the front, and Tineke Dendelk.
And I'm happy to see that, because Silice-Nemeth was up there for quite a while, and she did slow up her pace, very clearly saying, remember, there's difference between leading and pulling. I will lead the race, but I won't pull y'all around to a fast time. Someone else is going to have to come up and help. Now we're seeing the response from Ariana Siegel.
Siegel on the front. Silice-Nemeth did pick up the pace to hop up into second. Budic also wants to join her, but she took a bump, and that slowed her speed. And then there was the contact with Chitaisong. Everybody on their skates, though.
Blades go flying, which is quite scary to see.
And inside 3 to go. That is Siegel on the front. Silice-Nemeth, another foray forward into second.
A nice, smooth, late inside pass. No crossovers going in, so now she's really having to work to rebuild her speed and stick like glue onto Ariana Siegel.
Now with the legs, the fatigue really kicking in this one. It's 2 breaking away. It's going to be a real battle for that potential third place spot. Chitaisong trying to push forward, and I think Dendelk does hang on. But Siegel looking very comfortable getting over that first hurdle.
And an unofficial 2:37.73 for our third place time. So far, that's the slowest. 5 races left, I believe. No.
Two.
I'm way off. 2 races left, so that might hold.
We were actually talking with Jeff Katura, the coach of the Swiss Ibex, and Phoebe Stens has a full-time job in addition to speed skating, so her training time is limited. Swiss is one of those programs, they're trying to build something, and it's a lot of recruitment from hockey, and that's changing a skating style that is quite a bit different, as you well know, working with a lot of hockey players.
Yes, hockey is very agile, very quick, very twitchy. There's a bit more finesse in short track. You have to hold the edge longer. You have to control the turn and understand how to manipulate your speed, whereas hockey is much more like stop, start, stop, start. Speed skating is much more carry the speed, carry the momentum. And the last thing is, in speed skating, you really want to stay centered over your feet, physically and mentally, whereas hockey is more of a sport that's always changing direction. So lots to learn from this Swiss Ibex.
So 2:37.719 is Dendelk's time, and so that is the slowest heat we've had so far. And so remember, It's now just only 3 possible fastest third place times with the 1 advancement of Del Trap. 2 heats still to come. Heat number 4, Kamila Selye, Mirosava Selyakova, Alina Ashgalieva, Leia Popovikova, Holly Hoyland, and Olga Tikhonova. And so the Hussar, the home nation Hussar, Wildcat, a couple of nomads, the Slovakian Ice Deer, one of the new identities this season, and Holly Hoyland, the British Royal.
Go to the start. Ready.
And the first few strides do not lend to the idea that they're going for time in this one, but we'll see how quickly they pick it up.
You know, it only takes one person to say, I don't like the pace of this race, and to go up front. We have seen shifting ice conditions throughout the weekend. The environment here is getting a little bit colder. As mentioned, the ice is having more time to rest. Remember, for several days leading up to this event, there's practice ice going at all hours of the day so that all of these skaters have an opportunity to train and prepare for the event. Then we do 2 long days of qualifiers. The ice takes a beating, but now by the last day, it's finally getting a time to rest, to freeze fully in between resurface breaks. It's still challenging on the legs, though. Any ice at sea level is going to naturally be a bit slower and softer than at altitude.
Hoyland, who was not there for the first 2 World Tours in Montreal, 25 years of age, out of Nottingham, where the British team is based. She actually started skating at 4 years old, started short track at 8. She is back on the front right now. The 3 women Royal skaters, I think the most they've had previously has been 2, so inching closer to getting a full women's relay side. And now Selye decides enough is enough. The top-seeded skater in this distance, ranked number 16 in the world, now picks it up and see who can stay with her.
Top 4 staying together very well here. 2 arms down, but now we see them putting those arms back on their back. So that's a sign of how much energy is being used. We see Kamila Selye really using her arm swing on her corner exit. That adds a little bit of power and a little bit of punch to her push.
Tikhonova and Ashgalieva. We'll see what kind of assault they can launch on the front, but Selye holding them off right now, just picking it up. It's too fast really to make a move.
And that's good leading by Kamila Selye. It is challenging to do this, what's called a progressive lead, so every lap gets a little faster, so no one can ever really set up a pass.
And coming together of the teammates there, they do all get through, so Tikhonova in second, but there's a good chunk of Polish fans that have come in for pretty much every session, and they're here for the repechage as well. They're to show their support for the skater, and you've seen her interviewed. T-shirt she has a Gdansk patch, and so the city does support the sport here and a lot of the athletes.
I spent a little time with her newlywed DNA Selye last night. They have a little flat here. There's a hotel connected to the rink, and so they just have a little home base where they can rest in between races or set their stuff down before they go out to eat, things like that.
But the Polish side, as we've learned, they are still trying to figure out where to put a training base. They've jumped around to various different places. We've spoken several times. A number of countries go through Bormio in northern Italy. It's very much a United Nations of training there, that in the off season and in the season, teams and skaters who either are not on World Tour, they tend to find their way through there. It's also hosted World Cup junior events.
And what they do well there, and they have a little co-op really of athletes and coaches, and that's what's very unique about it, is that oftentimes, especially if you're from a small country, you don't have access to services like a team physio, a team blade tech, a team weightlifting coach. And because there's this co-op of athletes in Bormio, they all get to work together and receive these services they wouldn't otherwise be able to afford.
But, you know, the goal, I think, for Poland eventually is to have a spot where they can set up camp and spend good chunks of the year, not worry about living out of suitcases. Heat number 5, and that one was a clean heat. Just watching Alina Zhgalieva's time in third, 2:34.371. And so it's faster than 1, really. A lot will come down to this heat, and we'll see. We'll really make the determination on how many third places advanced.
Go to the start. Ready.
Daddy Muske, Kanai Rika, Svetlana Repechage, Anna Matveyeva, Aurélie Levesque, and Alyssa Pak. And so there's nobody who's far and away a seeded skater. It's not like one of those elite skaters who missed something in one of their qualifying races and finds themselves in the repechage. They're all within world ranking spots. I'm talking about within about 20 to 30 spots of each other. There's nobody who's far and away a top-seeded skater. And so this could be an interesting race. We'll see how it unfolds. It's not the quickest of starts.
You're totally right in that because no one seems to be going for time. I do anticipate this pack staying pretty close together unless we see one of those, crazy, hectic, chaotic moves. It is so common in short track. I do expect these ladies to stay somewhat together and really fight to the finish.
I don't expect any of the athletes off the ice to be listening to us, but I think if they've listened to me calling off 1500s, they know I will always be objective and down the line. But if you launch an attack off the line in a 1500 and go for the lap, subconsciously, I'll be pushing for you.
It's a very challenging strategy, and it's not common in a 15. Oh dear.
And Muska going up the inside. Matveyeva also down. I don't think she was part of that contact, but it was Repechage who got bumped by Muska initially, and now the cat truly amongst the pigeons. Kanai Rika, Aurélie Levesque, Alyssa Pak.
Well, with 3 left and coming around here on 5 laps to go, they might try to push a little bit for time now, but with that slow start, Alyssa Pak is hopefully in her mind thinking, how can I set up this pass?
This would be a very good result for Alyssa Pak. One-man skater, one-woman skater. Singapore, you don't often associate with short track, but a nation city-state building a program there. They have full-time coaches hired in.
Building an ice rink, you said, is that right?
I've been told they have the land chosen, but there was a rink before. It is not there, but they have a land for a new one. And so she is off the back right now, but it's a race for time. But it is Kanai and Levesque. They're looking like they will go 1-2. That they do, and we'll see what time Alyssa Pak can put in. She will go 2:46.6, so it won't be hanging in there with some of the faster times. But then also remember there is a review of that incident.
You see skaters gliding around with their hands on their legs. That's an attempt to catch the breath. So especially here's that bump. So shoulders are not quite even. Going into the turn.
And that's where Matveyeva went down as Muska was spinning out. So it's possible inside to out is what they're looking at. And here's another look.
And it's hard to see from that angle. We need the front angle to really see the inside from out. But yes, then it's just, a little bit of chaos out there. No better way to start the day.
Wakes you up.
That's
but
right.
It's the 2 skaters involved. Repechage, Matveyeva were at the front, so it's possible of 2 advancements out of this one.
Levesque doing a nice job here, tucking in behind Kanai. That's good strategy. You don't have to overextend yourself trying to get out of a qualifying round. It can be good energy management to just stick in second and save a little energy for the next race.
Taking a look at that, some stuff to dissect there. But just finishing on Singapore, they are getting ready for the Southeast Asian Games. That's sort of their main focus on the season, and that would be a fun one, wouldn't it? With the likes of Thailand and Malaysia, and that would be fun one to see anyway. The Singapore Gazelles is their identity.
Still waiting for an official result. Skaters doing their best to just move on. At the moment, what's in my control is gearing down, getting on the bike, talking to coach, checking my equipment. Those are the things to stay focused on until you have more information. An athlete can really make themselves anxious if they start spinning in their thoughts, worrying about what's happening next.
Final decision, penalty, number 68 from Germany. Advancement for number 87 individual neutral athlete and number 96 from Ukraine.
And so there you go. 1 penalty, 2 advancements as we get another look at it. I'll just go through who is moving on after we look here.
Yeah, so we see her going from the left side of that blue line sharply over to the right side and then creating contact. It's not against the rules to go from left to right. It's against the rules to go from left to right and create contact. You're supposed to have lateral movement in the sport, but you're also supposed to move cleanly around your fellow competitors.
So there you go. The rare time we see 2 advancements from 1 heat. So that means there are 3 heats, 3 advancements overall. And the 1 third place time that does stand up to move on is Sara Lutza Baksky, third from heat number 2. And that actually is from the same heat as the other advancement, Zoe Deltrap moving on. So we will see them in just a little bit. After the first no, we don't do the ice resurface. We do the men's thousands and then I think we go back. Anyway, it is the men's repechage 1,000-meter quarterfinals. 4 heats, first of 4 here.
Ready.
First and second place skaters from each race and up to 2 fastest third place skaters qualify for the repechage semifinals. And you really need to look no further than Felix Roussel, a man who has World Tour gold in the 1,000 in this one.
And Felix Roussel sharing with me that he's really tightened up his nutrition and his recovery routine over the last year and is seeing marked results in his training. Now, not only is he a good racer with great sport IQ, he's got the legs to really challenge even his teammates. And they all say, the Canadian Ice Maples, about each other, we train with the best, we push each other, and that's why we can perform at this level.
Huge burst of speed. Oleg Hande. We talk at length about how he's just an animator. He really shakes up races, anyone that he's in, and now he's battling with Roussel for the lead.
Hande very confident, actually training in Poland, even though he's from Ukraine. He has a special someone out in the audience cheering him on this weekend, and he sure is skating to impress.
He's had some good races this weekend. We missed Ward Petre going down in the last corner there. He is up. Did an aw shucks there, but this race has been cracked wide open. Roussel, Hande, Metehan Atan, and then Nathan Thomas. But Roussel's going to take it. Hande into second. It's a real battle for third, and who's going to get it? Oh my. Thomas made it close anyway, because that could be a very important third place, with only 2 maximum moving on out of 4 heats. But we'll get a look at the photo. Appreciate the never give up spirit by Nathan Thomas there. But we'll get a look back at the race.
Felix Roussel building up his speed on the outside. 2 crossovers going, oh, he does take a 2-foot there, but it was a good setup, a good early setup, and that is a good strategy if you're trying to move on the outside. And then you can see how it's called projection. He takes what's a normal lateral stride in the sport and starts to press it forward, project it forward, sometimes even on a diagonal. That's how elite athletes finish their passes without making contact.
So when Petre went down, they are actually looking at Nathan Thomas down at the review room. We've not seen a replay of that incident, but I think they were just waiting. Oh, wow, how close is that? Do we get a photo? We do. It is Atan who just hangs on. And so they were just waiting for everyone to finish before our officials went over to take a look at the review screen. But one thing we do know, Roussel, Hande through automatically. And I think they've just made those results official. So yes, Atan confirmed in third, 128.84. Heat number 2 out on the ice. Thomas Natalini, no rest for him. Couple of A finals yesterday, and here he is in the repechage for the 1,000 meters. Thomas Natalini, Quentin Vercoq, Ivan Posashkov, Peter Yasipati, and Peter Riches.
And Gavin, I think you did a little research on this yesterday. Was that Thomas Natalini's first individual World Tour medal?
From what I looked, yes. He had had a 4th place previously on World Tour last season, but there were no other individual medal spots that I could read. So unless I'm proven wrong, that is my assumption right now. Didn't get to speak to him after. We spoke to him before.
We spoke to him before. He said his parents are both here, shared his half of every athlete is their family. And he shared with us how his parents are both in the stands. They come to cheer him on at all the European competitions. He expressed his gratitude that, you know, his parents could have just let him watch TV or go outside, but what they did when he was growing up was they took him to the ice rink and they fostered his love for the sport. When he got older, or as a teenager, his dad was able to travel with him, and now the whole family really enjoys it.
I mean, based on his reactions he was getting from other skaters and teammates yesterday, it made me sort of feel that it was a big moment.
It was special, certainly.
Ready.
And it is the 2 top-seeded skaters in this race. Natalini, 23, Vercoq, 17. Jumping to the front, Yasipati. Another race where there's no breakaway favorite, no one who's far and away top-seeded. There's a couple, 3-4 guys who are all in close proximity to each other and on a day could come away with the victory. But it is all together right now. Natalini, Vercoq, Yasipati, 1 through 3.
This is why the repechage rounds are so exciting, because so many out of 5 skaters here, 3 are sure bets to make it out. But we're only taking 2 plus 2. There's been some contact. 2 skaters falling behind.
It was Posashkov going in on Yasipati. That will get a review. Peter Riches right there to read the situation and move right up. And Riches is another guy who likes to get to the front, and here he is trying to get ahead of Vercoq, coming up to 2 to go. And then he goes in on Vercoq, shoulder to shoulder.
There's a yellow dot.
That was for a top 2 position as well. So Vercoq trying to defend his position. Yasipati gets up into 3rd, pardon me. But it's Natalini who will take it. Riches second over the line. But ...
Correct, yes. And so 126 unofficially, a 126.81. That's the faster of the 2 so far. 2 fastest thirds are going through, but any advancements will eliminate qualification on time.
So a couple guys are going to have to watch. That first incident is being looked at also as just a possible non-call in the end on second review right there.
Shoulder to shoulder going into the corner, so somebody needs to give away the right of way.
1, 2, 3.
That's slow motion math. I'm even worse at that. Anyway, so here's another look at the second move. From that angle, it's hard to say, because you have to turn left in the sport. You do have to turn left, but if you turn left too soon when there's a skater completing a pass, there's so many things to consider in the sport.
That one in second place, and it could lead to a possible advancement. Quentin Vercoq. So there is the review room. If you've watched this sport enough, you know the general makeup of it. Each place has their own different look for it.
So from this angle, we can't tell whose shoulders are in front. It doesn't even look like there's a big bump there, and so remember, there's a difference between a pinch and a push. That's a little bit more of what a push looks like, but again, from that angle, was it the outside skater coming into the push or the inside skater pressing out to the push? The officials will have to let us know. They'll review for just a few more moments.
Remember one of those review rooms, it looked just like it was a dark room with a bunch of screens, and it's just like lock them away in the bunker. But
it's warm down there, and there's a little couch. They got a nice setup in their video review room.
It's not bad. Go take a nap on resurfacing breaks.
Yeah, no, I visited down there on the first day of racing and was pleasantly comfortable. So often in an ice rink you get just a concrete room with a couple benches in it, just a typical hockey locker room, really. But this rink has some really nice options. It's a few options for locker rooms being thrown up with like partitions and more of like an auditorium or multi-purpose space. But the benefit to that is that because it's a little farther away from the ice, athletes get a warm space to recover in after they race.
And I'll just more on that after this.
Final decision, penalty number 45 from Hungary. Another penalty, 19, Great Britain.
Okay, and so 2 penalties.
No advancements.
No advancements, because it's almost, because there are no advancements, Felkok jumps up into second because there are 2 advancements, essentially. So here, outside to in, this is Yasapati.
Right there, that double push. He never goes onto his left inside edge. He stays on his right inside edge and does what's called a shuffle push or a sculling push. Here's the second one, inside skater, failure to give way. The shoulders are
just not quite there yet.
If they're even, they're not even on time, and then there's contact, so that is a clear and obvious penalty.
So Felkok moves into the automatic qualifying positions, and Plasashkov a 128.345. He didn't get advanced because at the time of the incident, they were not in one of those advancement positions. Heat number 3.
Position 5, 6. Go to the start. Ready.
Hayashi, Kosei, Tunbor, Simon Bastier, Felix Pigeon, Lucas Koo, and Ivan Donchev. A number of pretty good skaters. Just to finish the thought, you're talking about the venue here. Each venue on World Tour has had different quirks, different wrinkles, and we saw yesterday they had that light technology where when they introduced the A final, their name and logo would flash above the finish line and just sort of, it was a very cool graphic across the entire last straight there. And yeah, I don't think you saw it on TV, but for us, the first time we saw it, it was, oh my.
That's right. This is really an entertainment event, not just a sporting event. Great light show, great music here in Gdansk, and great racing. Let's take a peek down on the ice. Felix Pigeon really having to fight to get his way up to the front.
Hayashi gets ahead of him, and a Tunbor in third. Here comes Simon Bastier, the French youngster, trying to get up. He's the lowest seeded skater in this race, but he's not really showing much fear there, but there are a lot of skaters all around. It's Pigeon now. Hayashi eyeing the lead, gets inside.
That's right. Now remember, the Polish team has lots of experience here. We've had a fall from the Turkish. You're going to help me.
It was Ivan Donchev of the Bulgarian Kings down, but it is now Pigeon and Boer leading the way. Simon Bastier up into third. And unfortunate for Hayashi to slip down to fourth, but Bastier showing no fear. Zut, perhaps, but that's what the head tilt means. But that, or maybe also a huzzah for me, because that was the fastest third place time we've had so far.
Yeah, we're seeing an unofficial 127.049, so yes, by over a second, almost 2 seconds, the fastest race we've seen so far. So here's Felix Pigeon coming around the outside. Remember, the Polish team has lots of experience here on this ice. This ice is a little softer because we are at sea level and we're close to the water. That affects the humidity within the arena. So they have lots of experience energy managing on uncomfortable ice, whereas some of these other countries are coming in and having to learn while they're racing how to manage the ice conditions. Kosei, one of the most beautiful skaters. Look how low he gets on that left. Just getting past there by Tunbor to clean pass. Bastier trying to dive up for the line. And some of our grand Polish fans coming out here. We've had fans every day of the week, morning, afternoon. Great local support.
They sort of filled in, they sold tickets for really the lower bowl on our side, the Finnish side, and then there's really just sort of one tier on the far side, and it was pretty full yesterday. It was great atmosphere. As you see it, Pigeon and Boer and Bastier has to wait for one more heat, but his time very much in pole position right now. That has forced out Metehan Atan's time from heat number 1, and so it's Posashkov on the bubble with a 28.345, and so if there is an advancement, his would be the one to go. Heat number 4, Benson Nogrady, Glebovchenko, Etienne Bastier, Michał Niwiński, Sean McAnuff, and Sui Shin.
Michał having to overcome a lot of adversity on the World Tour circuit this year, but he's got this great little superstition. Watch how he does 3 little swipes on his chest. I still yet to find out why that brings him good luck.
Go to the start. Ready.
So many skaters in this event. We don't always run into them. You see one at one day, and then you might not see them for the other 3.
Well, and it's important to be respectful of when athletes are in their zone. Oftentimes I go by an athlete and I can tell by the look on their eyes that they're in full focus mode. Occasionally you see someone just, cooling down on the bike, happy to smile and chat, but every time I've seen Niwiński this weekend, he's either been very focused, even though he is a very outgoing athlete. He clearly has a process that he follows that helps him perform in the sport.
We did about a full 20-minute debrief. The host Polish television here, they have not a studio set up, but they have a podium set with a couple of chairs looking back on the rink, and so they're doing a full program for it. And he spent about 20 minutes sitting with them holding a microphone, debriefing yesterday.
And that was a nice move up to third by Niwiński. So Nagrady's doing, see that tight track? That's a fantastic defensive track. So what that tells me is, here we see the big move.
Third to second to first. And I'm not sure if he was trying to go all the way up to the lead, but that was the case there. But that opened the door. Etienne Bastier. And now that will get a review, that earlier move.
More defensive skating from Niwiński here. Ivchenko trying to build on the outside, but I just don't think there's time.
There is no more time. Etienne Bastier takes that one. He was watching and jumped at the moment there was the slowdown at the front, so Niwiński going to get looked at, but he always taking the time to wave to the home fans.
That's right, and just to your point, Gavin, earlier, we'll see it on the replay. I'm not sure he was attempting to go all the way up to first, but whether he received a burst of speed or maybe the leading skater pulled back a little bit, there was a point of contact. So let's take a peek here. He's trying to pop into second, but look, the door is way open by the Kazakh athlete, so he thinks he's got more room than he's got. The shoulders are even, but it is pretty late, and because there's a step out is why it's under review, but here's the official result.
And they have made it official, and so yeah, he's by the first block, he is in front.
Correct.
And so that's, I'm guessing, the decision there. Etienne Bastier, Michał Niwiński moving on to the repechage semifinals.
Look how Niwiński keeps stepping. So we've got Bastier on 2 feet, Niwiński actively stepping, cutting in, called what's tucking in to qualifying position, and then really focusing on defending his lane, not letting any other skater have an opportunity to pass.
So the home fans are happy there, but a good skate by Bastier, watching what was going on in front of him and jumping ahead at the right time. And so, yes, indeed, Simon Bastier, Ivan Posashkov going through as the third fastest times. Nagrady, a 1:29.287, just not quick enough. And so there will be 2 Bastiers, 2 French Roosters, 3 French Roosters in the repechage semifinals. Speaking of repechage semifinals, here we go. Women's 1,500 meters, 2 heats, just the first placed skater from each race to qualify. Of course, conditions may apply, and those conditions, advancements, penalties, all that stuff.
That's right. We never know what's going to happen. But again, skaters, their job is to focus on what they can control. It's really easy to drive yourself a little nuts when you allow your thoughts to come outside of your realm of control. You can see the really focused look in their eyes. They've got their blinders on.
So it's Valentina Asic, Olga Tikhonova Ariana Siegel, Kana Irika, Rebecca Silice Nemeth, Svetlana Repechage, and Anna Matveyeva. And as I said, no worries about time in this one. It's just the skaters around them, and so the game's afoot.
We're seeing a similar strategy here from Silice Nemeth. She likes to be out front, and that tells me she has confidence. She has the legs. She's saying, hey, I can push this pace and still be confident that I'm going to go through, well, not on time, but that I can win it. You don't go up to the front like that and spend energy like that if you have any doubt whatsoever whether or not you'll have the legs at the finish.
And it is Silice Nemeth behind Matveyeva right now. Valentina Asic, the Croatian Dalmatians, born in Bosnia and Herzegovina, now living in Zagreb, pardon me, and this Croatian side, 2 men's skaters, 2 women's skaters, and so there's never a mystery on who is on their mixed relay side.
That's right. Medveda doing a nice job staying up in that qualifying position, maybe conserving the energy now, but look on your screen. Skaters are stepping out, attempting to build speed.
Business is about to pick up with Tikhonova hitting the front. I'm watching to see when Siegel might make a move.
So far, Siegel's been conserving her energy, which is surprising because it's a little bit of a slower race, but the Italians are well known for their top-end sprint speed, and look at that smooth little pass all the way up into third.
Quickly as you like it, into third. Now Asic winding it up on the outside. Kanai trying to go with her.
Tikhonova needs to respond here and pick up the pace. Ariana Siegel says, you're waiting too long, I'll do it.
Nice move up the inside, and the drama happened around her as Tikhonova went down, Kanai went down. But the seas almost just parted for Siegel as she went right up the middle, or up the inside, rather.
That's right, but I do want to see Siegel keep pushing the pace here because she's allowed Silice Nemeth to close the gap. Now she can continue to control the pace from the front, but she's in a dangerous situation with 2 skaters hot on her heels.
Quick look over her shoulder, still 2 to go. Silice Nemeth ahead of Asic there right now. There is the bell. There is a bit of a gap, and as they battle for second, Silice Nemeth out wide with Asic, but that just benefits Siegel, and now she has a chance to look up and coast over the line.
And that's an interesting situation because Siegel very happy with that finish. It's been fun to see athletes share more and more of their emotion as the weekends progressed. That's bad luck for Silice Nemeth because she wasn't in qualifying position since it's only taking winners. And what really happened is she didn't even get the chance to challenge for that qualifying position. Let's take a peek at some of these race reviews. Here's Ariana Siegel going up the inside. A little bump there, a big step out by Tikhonova, which caused some contact.
Looks like she went in with Silice Nemeth there, and Kanai taken out. Wrong place, wrong time for her. And again, we saw it a lot yesterday where skaters would get into the advancement positions and then they would get advanced when drama would happen. Unfortunate for Kanai, not in the right place to be the victim of something that she had no real hand in.
Yes, and so this is the contact between Croatia and Hungary.
And also possible shared responsibility on that one. And I think it's not official just yet. One thing we do know, that smile says a lot.
Yes, absolutely. And that first day, even skaters were winning the race, but they were shaking their heads at their coaches. That's just a signal of discomfort that they're not, even though they look good, they don't feel good out there, but the feeling is getting better and better. Part of that's time change. Everyone had to travel. They have to get used to a new environment, hotel, ice rink, new food. It takes time to settle in, especially with skaters who are going through a time change.
So this is incident number 1.
It's hard to tell from that angle who caused the contact. It looks like Silice Nemeth is just getting pinched between Asic and Tikhonova, but from this side, Tikhonova seems to be carrying her speed out wide. Nemeth not really changing.
Yeah, Silice, it looks like she got a hand to the ear.
That's right. So they're seeing possibly Hungary on Croatia. There's actually quite a few things they're considering.
This one is a possible shared responsibility. One leaning in, one leaning out, maybe.
It's both on 2 feet going into the track, so neither skater giving way. If the shoulders are exactly even, then that's fairly typical. And what you want to do when you're passing is, even if it's a 1/4 of an inch, when your shoulders are ahead, you have the right of way. But when your shoulders are even, it's shared responsibility. It's a game of chicken. Someone's got to back off. Or you shared responsibility and there's no call. We're waiting anxiously.
Got it? Good. So yeah, this one's taken a moment. Second heat is out on the ice, but we are going to sort this one out one way or another. And when I say we, I mean other people,
Yes,
not we
them.
sitting up here.
Now, coaches surrounding the skater here probably, hey, are you okay? Emotionally, you know, your feelings get hurt a little bit when you don't get the result that you want, but also physically, since there's been a fall, and especially, how's your equipment? These blades are very fragile. Athletes can feel the way that you gauge the radius or the bend on a blade. One tick mark on what's called a gauge is actually thinner than a piece of hair. However, an elite athlete can feel up to 2 or 3 tick marks off on their gauge. So infinitesimally, that's a word, small little things that they're able to feel out there on the ice.
Is it a word or did you just make one up?
If you say it right, it's a word. I might not be saying the word, but there is a word that sounds like that.
Fake it till you make it.
Hey, I'm going through a time change too, folks. Let me get some more coffee. Get myself a little sharper this morning.
This is where we work it all out. By this afternoon, we'll be using real words and real sentences. At least we hope so. That's the plan anyway. Looks like a decision has been made. To the ice we go.
Final decision, penalty number 42 from Kazakhstan. We have a share of responsibility between Hungary, number 39, and number 20 from Croatia. And we have an advancement for number 39 from Hungary.
So there you have it. The advancement for Silice Nemeth was when Tikhonova went in on her here. And so Seagull may have been in front, but it would have been slightly. So that's it right there. Inside to out.
Inside to out, and then causing the contact. And we can't tell from that angle who exactly was in the front, but I'll just say, so here's the second one, shared responsibility, no penalty, just a shoulder bump. Something, you know, I'm happy for Silice Nemeth because she was consistently in the front, consistently in the top 2 or 3, like actively fighting for that position, which showed me she had the legs, she had the confidence. Happy for her for that advancement.
She will go into the semifinals this afternoon. Heat number 2. Annabelle Green, Sarah Lutza-Bakska, Yang Jingru, Zhang Nize, Camila Cellier, Aurélie Levesque, and Zoe Deltrap.
Go to the start. Ready?
So 7 skaters on the line. This is one of those interesting ones where there are a lot of closely ranked skaters who might be battling for position, and even if you're one of the lower seeded skaters, if you're watching, waiting, that opening might come up for you if they bump shoulders and lose speed.
That's right. We see the 2 Chinese lungs fighting for position here. It's a great strategy to be up in front together, and especially on this ice, you're almost better off committing to the pain of leading, because it does hurt up there, folks. Like, this is a big effort, but you're almost better committing to the pain of leading than you are risking the jockeying and the bumping from behind. At sea level ice, it's a challenge to speed up quickly. They have to speed up every time they go around the apex of that block, but to have to also speed up from bumps is a fastest way to burn up the legs.
Is Deltrap on the front?
Deltrap coming off of yesterday's 3,000 meter ladies relay with a gold medal.
That Dutch team employs a very active social media community. There's a short track Instagram page that really pumps out the stories and the content.
And so we talk often about the benefit of skating around with teammates, and so one of those things is look what Zhang is doing. She's leaving a gap between her and first place, her teammate Yang. That's strategic. So she closed it just now as a defense mechanism against Zoe Deltrap. Let's see if she spaces it back out and works on an acceleration of her own. but she doesn't have time. Now she has to defend Cellier.
Well, here comes Cellier trying to work it around the outside. Remember, one spot, and down goes Deltrap again. She was down earlier.
Cellier doing all the right things here to build speed.
And up the inside, bumping, big bumps, and Cellier then goes out wide. And there is a lot to dissect after this one, but it's Young, Zung, and Baksky who's up into third. And is there a late move by the Hungarian Falcon coming? We are going to get the bell this time around.
There's time for one more move. I just don't know if there's energy for anyone to make it.
And Baksky is going to take a look anyway. It's just not there, but that only would have been one Chinese lung. She needed to get around two, but it is Young Jingru taking that one, and I don't think she is the subject of any review. And again, when you have a teammate, as Catherine mentioned, it does help when you're both up there.
That's the benefit from skating from the front, also the benefit of being with a teammate. I have to be very careful here because I want to be clear. I'm not saying these skaters are working together. What I am saying is that if I have a questionable pass, I'm probably not going to put my teammate in danger. That's bad sportsmanship. So there's a little bit of safety there, knowing my teammates behind me. They might pass me, but they're not going to endanger me, which just takes a little bit of weight off the shoulders. Zoe Deltrap there showing us a little frustration with that fall.
Here's the incident, and this is Zhang Yizhe getting looked at. There's no way through for Cellier, but she also wasn't ever really in front. But there is an arm back there, and so...
We see that white glove. That's why the white gloves are required. Now, arm swings are normal. A stiff arm is not. A flick of the wrist is not. Grabbing with the fingers is not. So whether that's coming just from momentum through the arm swing or not, you do have to be very aware of what your arm swing's doing and whether or not it's creating contact.
And it looks like they've got everything punching in the results there.
And I remember before we had those white gloves, the wrist flick was the most common way. A black glove on a black skin suit. Touching's not the problem, but if you, this happened all the time, whereas someone's coming around the outside, just, oh, here we go.
Final decision, penalty number 26 from China, advancement number 15 from Poland.
There you go. So the whole crowd cheering. Zhang Yizhe penalized, and Cellier is advanced. She wasn't sitting in position one, but, you know, she was moving forward.
She was moving forward. Let's take a look at this outside to in. So there's that big push from right to left, and then she never does step back out. So that's a good catch. I didn't see that the first time through. It's normal to push off the right skate and then the left skate. If you see two double pushes on the right skate, that's considered an outside to in move.
So there you go, two coming through. Both semifinal heats had advancements, so there are going to be some very full start lines this afternoon in the women's 1500-meter semifinals. You've seen the lights go down. That's not just mood lighting. We are heading into the first ice resurfacing break of the day. On the other side, women's 500-meter repechage semifinals, two quick heats, and then we'll move right into the men's 1,000-meter repechage semifinals. It's very quick, this Sunday morning session, but you see the time here, that will be about 14 minutes from now. So set your watches, go, we'll be back soon. the dash to the finish on Repechage Sunday here in Gdansk. Women's 500-meter repechage semifinals, and then the men's 1,000-meter repechage semifinals, just filling out the program for this afternoon's World Tour as we will race for the medals. First up, you see heat number 1. Again, another race with 2 Chinese lungs, but good luck trying to work together when it's everybody dashing around. They're not working together. We'll always say that. Is it Zhang Chutong, Fawn Cushing, Annabelle Green, Chiara Betti, Chloé Olivier.
Ready?
This race features multiple-time world champion Fawn Cushing, as Annabelle Green goes down under some contact. Herself a very good starter, and then Chiara Betti, who was in an A final yesterday, now in perhaps her preferred event, the 500 meters, and they'll all get a look as we see where the contact might have come from, right there.
Betti and Green, so they're both running over to their coaches now to get their equipment looked at. We can have one more peek here. There it is. Betti's left and Green's right.
So reminder, just the first place skater. And so there's not really much time to get in that comfort zone of skating around those skaters you're so familiar with in this race. And so, yes, Chinese skaters are positions 1 and 2, but we expect a whole lot of changes in this one in a short amount of time.
That's right, and remember Fawn Cushing on one of those first qualifying days? She got caught up behind a fall and a bump. She wasn't really involved in it, but it slowed her speed down. She wasn't in qualifying positions. There's no advancement. She didn't get through on time, so she's going through the repechage rounds, even though she's typically extremely strong in this distance.
These ones are very good skaters who will not get out of this repechage round, but that is the nature of the beast. And there's Richard Shoebridge, head coach of that British Royals program. He's often so stoic on there in the coach's box, arms folded, never really gives much in the way of expression. One of those nice guys too you're always happy to see on the tour. There's just a lot of nice people out here, I've always found.
It's really, there's a reason that people are attracted to the sport, because since it is small, people are nice. It's really a community. You see people bumping and falling down together on the ice, and then they pull each other up, pats on the backs, high fives. Like, the sportsmanship is next level.
Go to the start. Ready?
There's a lot of these nations training together. They all just push each other to the next level when it's a small community like that. And it is the Chinese lungs. Green will try to chase down Fawn, but also Betti, also one with a very high top speed.
Fawn being methodical about chasing in her teammate here. She's not quick to close the gap, but I anticipate, going to progress it and maybe set that pass up a little closer to the end.
And here comes Betti, skater who's often in the World Tour program in the 500 with a lot of work to do. Fawn skating very good defensively, but when she's focusing on what's behind her, she's not able to get forward, and all the while, Zhang Chutong will take that one. So like I said, some very, very good skaters not getting through to the quarterfinals this afternoon.
That's right, and nice to see Fawn there. So again, there's that sportsmanship. Like, she didn't make it through, but she's got a pat on the back for her teammate. Fawn Cushing is one of the veteran athletes on the team. She joked with me after ice the other day that she was feeling old. I think she's 32, but here's the thing. Over the years, you get so much experience in the sport, so much understanding of how to shut down passes like this. And on your screen, it might not look like she's doing much, but the amount of effort it takes to change your track pattern and adjust your speed in real time, adjust your lean angle. It's so many things to do all at once, and she's got years of experience with it.
Multiple time 500 meter world champion. I think it's 5. It's a good number, and as you mentioned, 32 years of age. There aren't many skaters over the age of 30 in this one.
Chutong really happy with that. We love to see that little celebration, that fist bump.
There you go. Results are confirmed. Second heat already out on the ice. Ricky Doak, Martina Valchipina, Alina Krylova, Diana Laura Vegi, and Petra Vankova. And I think Valchipina was in one of the quicker heats and just missing
Go
out
to the
on
start.
moving right in. But Ricky Doak on the inside is a top skater.
Ready?
Everybody is safely through the corner. Doak showing the benefit of position one, and now Valchipina watching what's going on behind her as Vankova down on her own.
Martina Valchipina is a veteran at this distance. Oh, but she does have to block that pass. Very well done. But now she's only got 2 laps to go to set up and try to make it up into the front. Oh, there it goes.
Lovely move up the inside. She felt the pressure by Krylova, and that perhaps activated the light bulb, and she went, I gotta go, and off she went, but not done yet. Doak, one last look up the inside. It is not there, and Valchipina will be, unless anything changes, going to the quarterfinals this afternoon.
And we don't see any yellow dots. I didn't see any passes that looked like they were under much contest. Some clean, sharp skating this morning.
Nothing getting reviewed. They do also always just confirm the results, but that's what the review room is for, to sort of see if anything was missed. But I don't think there were any flash points that needed another look. Just some clean moves.
So Ricky Doak, great start, holding her lane 1. Hand down on the first turn as she uses her foot speed. Valchipina adjusting her track well to come way up the inside, avoiding contact completely, finishing the cross, going into the corner. So not only did she complete the pass, she also held on to her speed.
Those results are confirmed. So it's Valchipina and Zhang moving into the quarterfinals this afternoon. No advancements, just the 2 spots from the Repechage semifinals. And just a couple more races this morning. It's the men's 1,000-meter Repechage semifinals. You just heard Michał Niewinski introduced. He'll be in a pretty tough race. Thomas Natalini, Toon Boer, and then both the Bastiers, Simon and Etienne.
Now, no time here, only picking 1. So a high strategy race here, and again, some really well-matched competitors.
Go to the start. Ready.
9 laps, of course, in the 1,000. And the rare time, we're going to see it brought back. Some bumping of blades around that corner, and we'll get a better look at it. It seemed very inauspicious.
Yeah, it sure did. I saw a black go flying, but I didn't see much more than that. Natalini's going to take a blade check. That's his coach, Blade Tech Asen.
That was quite the stylistic hop he just did there.
Oh, yeah.
And yes,
Cool points. Cool points count.
Those mats are quite comfortable, so I don't blame him.
Let's see, Bastier on the outside here. Is there a blade? Yeah, okay, so his left toe comes down onto Natalini's right heel. Good eye on the officials to call that. It didn't, affect the race, but it definitely, that affects equipment, 100%. So we do want skaters racing on an even playing field, all on good equipment. So a nice time to take a little break.
I laugh because it was Bastier who nicked it and then went to the right. Natalini looked over his left shoulder, and if I'm too bored, it wasn't me. It was him.
Well, and sometimes we see that contact from behind, and oftentimes, if you're the skater in front,
Go to the
you don't know
start.
who caused it.
Ready.
Very clean start.
They are all through, and Boer will go to the front. We'll see. Niewinski never one afraid to make a move, and so it's just a matter of time, particularly on home ice, but there's a lot in the way. A couple of roosters and a gladiator and a lion, and so this is about to kick off.
And here we see our first attack from Natalini coming up into the front.
The early battle for the lead. Natalini Boer took a look, did not press forward.
Now, Natalini feeling really strong this weekend, coming off of that confidence boost in his individual 1500. And so saying, hey guys, I got the legs, I don't want to be in trouble. He's decisively progressing this pace down. Michal Nowiński sliding into fourth.
That's one. As the laps tick down inside 3. A little wobble out of the corner there, just as perhaps he was gaining speed, but here comes the move.
It's time to go. Natalini senses it, and he's in the front. He's already doing 2 crossovers in, building that speed. It's going to make it really hard for anyone to set up a pass.
Etienne Bastier on tune. Boer into second. Boer battling back. There's just nothing there for Nowiński, and so it will be Thomas Natalini trying to go into his 3rd A final of the weekend.
More nodding over to coach, and he told us yesterday that his expectation is to have no expectations. He says, we're all here, you know, we're in the same rink, we're on the same ice. I don't have, basically, don't let myself get my hopes up. Just accept everything for as it is and respond in the moment. Do the best I can with what I've got, which is a tremendous headspace to be in as an athlete. I've mentioned before how, man, if you start focusing outside of your circle of control, you're going to make yourself nervous and anxious. We see a really well-timed shoulder check there by Natalini, looking up the inside, just double-checking. No one's here, so I can keep carrying my speed. Toon Boer coming up the inside, completing. There's that projection move where he pushes off the left to go forward into the corner rather than typical lateral, and that's how you complete those passes cleanly.
Just looking at Nowiński again, and my mind drifts back to the Olympic quotient spots. And when you're in the repechage semis, as we realized, you're in a good spot. You're in that top 32. A guy like Nowiński has not really been in semis and A finals this season, so he'll be, presuming he gets a lot of these spots, it would be near the back half of that. And so when you look at the 32 guys who will be in the Olympics, if he keeps building as we know he can, he will be an interesting prospect come February as not one of the top seeded skaters, but he'll be there, and we know he is a medal winner.
That's right. Another sentiment being shared with me throughout the week that everyone's actively avoiding thinking too far ahead to the Olympics at this point. It's moment by moment, footstep by footstep, just staying focused on where they are in the present.
Go to the start.
Oh, that's a new young fan.
Ready.
Heat 2, Felix Roussel, Felix Pigeon. I think the Felixes have been in the heats together before. Quentin Fercoq, Oleg Hyundai, and Ivan Pasashkov. Just seeing kids. We've seen plenty of kids. You did the research into the Golden Skate program. I talked about that yesterday when you were down on the ice, so thank you for that. But nice to see them kids getting involved and helping kids get involved in this sport.
That's right, and the organizing committee really investing in the next generation of athletes. We see Felix Roussel now doing a quick little hop up into first.
It is Felix ×2.
And Felix Pigeon not wanting to relinquish first place quite yet, but Felix Roussel is going to counterattack right back.
There's a heavy battle between these two.
And Felix Roussel does not want to be challenged again. He's going to pull away. He's going to push this pace and probably keep it till the finish.
It is time for Felix Roussel to drop the hammer, leaving nothing to chance. A man who has World Tour gold, wanting to get back on course. And it's a battle for second. Pigeon still scrapping, but now the gap is there. And Roussel, it's not quite a victory lap for him, but he is in a very comfortable position. Hyundai always there to push the fight, but Felix Roussel will head into the quarterfinals this afternoon. Just waiting. It's not confirmed, but there were no review points coming up. Allows us just the chance to point out we get right into the middle of things for the afternoon session. Sundays always start with the mixed relays, and Catherine will have her first run down to hop into the skates and get the interview ready. And that is at 2:05 local time, and so that is about an hour and 35 minutes from now. But if you watch this sport, you know that the afternoon will have plenty of action. And Felix Roussel will be there, and there is the cue next to the name, and so Roussel avoids any potential pratfalls, and Catherine, that's a nice calm morning in the grand scheme of things, but still plenty to watch. That was a good morning in the end.
Very good.
They don't call you the best in the business for nothing, Catherine. I'm just joking.
I know, I hear you. So we are at the wrapping up the morning session here. We have our official times posted on the screen.
And yeah, saving it, keeping the powder dry. We'll be back with you for this afternoon when the action will really hot up for the medals. As you see, Roussel, Natalini are through. So that ends our final morning session from here in Gdansk. Sign off for now on behalf of Catherine Reuter-Adamek and everybody who has put this event together. My name is Gavin Day. Talk to you this afternoon.